Bob Huggins, and my haircut. This is Locked On Baylor.
You are Locked On Baylor, your daily podcast on the Baylor Bears, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome to Locked On Baylor. I'm Drake Toll, who cut his own hair this week. That's
really?
Cameron.
You don't say?
Sorry, man. It's Alaska. There's not a single barber up here. There's a small Inuit village who has a guy who apparently will cut your hair.
No hats either.
No. Thanks for making Locked On Baylor your first listen every single day. That's Cameron Stewart from Our Daily Bears. No, it's not. I don't think he is.
Oh man, is this Fernando Rodney?
Fernando
What
Rodney.
is this?
Fernando
Mac
Rodney. Some people who are having a bad week. Some people
I can't
having
even
a bad
believe they
week.
still sell hats with completely flat brims.
And Bob Huggins is one of them. He didn't tell anybody who was in Paris, which was the next step. He could have gone there.
There's something to be said there, right?
Could have gone there. He did, however, pull the little cross-Canadian ragweed, the Tom Brenneman. He dropped the F-bomb, arguably the worst of the two, on a Cincinnati radio station. Very fratty.
Worst of the two F-bombs, you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't want to pull, I didn't want to get a pissing contest to which Slur is worse.
Right. No, definitely don't want to talk
Definitely
about
definitely the worst of the two F-bombs, for sure. The other one will not get you fired.
Yep.
I guess neither will this one. But
Yeah. So he drops that, and then West Virginia's like, can't do that, Bob. We ourselves, have to we got to reprimand you.
Bob, come on.
Public protest here. So you know what? We're going to strip you of $1 million. What do they suspend him for 3 games? You can't coach against Northwestern State. So basically, and don't do it again.
Think about what you did, Bob.
And then Bob Huggins gets pulled over. You ever seen the campaign, Will Ferrell, Zach Galifianakis?
I have.
They pull over Will Ferrell, and he just $100 bill hands it to him and goes, "In God we must."
Do you know who I am?
Bob Huggins' vehicle had a flat and shredded tire. And he is now, they smelled it on his breath. He had a blood alcohol content of, what was it, 0.221? It was something astronomical.
That is almost thrice the legal limit, by the way.
Yeah, was it 0.21? Is that what it was?
Something around there. Point 0.2 I remember seeing.
In that area. So he did also get arrested for a DUI in 2004 while coaching at Cincinnati, and is a member of the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame as of 2022. Just snuck his way in there before.
Yeah, because, dude, I was saying this earlier. If this happens pre-Hall of Fame, I don't know that he gets in. Not to say that he didn't deserve it, but it's not guys who don't win national championships, guys who don't even make it to the national championship game in 30, 40 years of coaching. It's not a terrific look. And then to go out like this wouldn't have been great. And you know what the worst part is, Drake?
Him getting 2
It
DUIs.
Happened on June 16th, June 17th.
Somewhere there, yeah.
It's still Pride Month. He can't get out of his own way here.
Yeah.
Bob.
Yeah.
Bob. Not good. Not good. Bad day. It's a catastrophe.
It's not great. It's not
terrific. It's not a great time in the cycle either to be hiring a new head coach.
No.
Or replacing your roster, which they're also going to kind of have to do.
Yeah. He did have his salary reduced by $1 million last year, and his contract was amended to a year-to-year deal. So they were like, all right, kind of rocky. Bob Huggins, in his second apology of the last month, the first one being on the scale of 1 to good apologies, was a good apology. He was like, oh, dude, that was bad. I shouldn't have done that. I take full responsibility. Well, that's good. We're not blaming it on anybody else. Then he says, I deeply regret my actions. Also regret the embarrassment and disappointment it's caused our athletics, family, members of our campus community in the state of West Virginia. So now he has, after 41 seasons, stepped down. 935 victories, certainly would have made it to 1,000 if he got to end it on his own terms, which I guess he
you think so? I think he would have hung it up after this year.
Well, I
don't think he's winning 65 this year.
No, but it seems like there was suspension. The old dog had a little bit. Now, look, I've been around Bob Huggins before. We've been to the smoke shop together. We've sat around and had some cigars, some brews. He didn't drive home.
Good. That's what a good friend does.
I've been in some press conferences with Bob Huggins, and he was a nice guy. He was always
all the West Virginia media people said he was always great to them. He would always, the local people always gave them time.
Kind of down, he would get he was dour after a loss for sure, but he would always take time to answer questions from his people and the other people. He never got mad. He wasn't a Kim Mulkey. He wasn't a Dave Aranda. He was split down the middle. Just kind of a smooth talking, fast talking, nice guy that would get down after a loss and say things that represented him and his university well.
It's just when you got on the radio.
Yeah. Things got interesting after that. Would you think you would ever say a slur on the air?
Not in that situation. Well, no. I was kind of putting just swears in there too. Definitely not a slur. But it's especially bad that it's not like the Tom Brenneman thing was not great at all. It's not good at all. It was a hot mic, and sometimes that happens. Like, not slurs. You're not supposed to do that. But if you say the S word on a hot mic, that's not good. You never should do that. But it's also like, as a hot mic, you were talking to someone else. Bob Huggins went with the slur and knew he was on a hot mic. He was calling into a radio show. Like, that's live, brother. So to go back and answer your question, no, I'm not going to say slur on the air. Hold me to that. Accountability, buddy.
I would say I will hold you to it. You would be fine.
I don't say slurs off the air. I think I should probably make that clear.
You don't. Bob Huggins did on the air. It is not my favorite hot mic moment. This brings up my favorite ever. Do you have a favorite hot mic moment?
Probably.
Okay, I'll let you think while I go through the firing.
Yeah, please do.
The University of Arkansas Little Rock athletic director Chris Peterson resigned from his job on Tuesday after caught talking dirty about a soccer player's mom. About a soccer player's mom.
Hey, he without sin, man. Cast
August 22nd, between UALR and Chicago State, there is a video feed of the game being shown on the school's website. Oh, no. This time, a microphone was left on, transmitting sound during the first half of the game, and that's the inappropriate comments were made public. Here are some of the things that he said. Oh, it's so funny.
And you know that student broadcaster can hear it, but that mic's down on the field. He can't yell down and say, "Stop talking." We know what that kind of setup is like too, which makes it even funnier. It's just an absolute sitting duck. But yeah, go ahead.
She had her stuff hanging out. He says of a soccer player's mom. She had her stuff hanging out. But
I'm always finding the silver lining in these things. At least it was the mother and not a player. But not great.
No.
Not great.
And it gets better because he's having a conversation with a buddy. Because the next words out of his mouth, remember that? So he's just checking in to see if the other guy had noticed. She had her stuff hanging out. Remember that? I gotta make sure I'm in town on Parents' Day.
Come on, man.
And then he tops it all off. Icing on the cake. She had 2 of them. And they were out there for display.
They typically come in backs of 2, to be fair, Chris.
Former
Oh,
athletic
man.
director at Arkansas State,
Oh,
making
man.
University of Arkansas Little Rock. That's what it was. No
You know, right
longer.
before you started saying that, I was thinking one of my favorite ones is it didn't get a guy fired, but it was I think it was Dennis Rodman when he was like DJing at a club and forgot to turn his mic off and went and had some relations in the back and like the whole club heard it. That's just funny, man. That's funny. From what we know, not doing anything wrong except just keeping, well, you know, sex outside of marriage, of course, but keeping the mic on, not turning.
Oh, yeah. There's the one where it's like overtime of the game in an SEC football game, and the guy goes, "What is Brittany doing?" Not a hot mic, but a great just color guy robbing a moment. What?
Oh man,
what is she doing?
This show should have just been great hot mic moments, because that made me think of another one that is similar. It's not a hot mic because they're on the air, like they know it, and it's this video from like 15 years ago, and it's like Northern Illinois playing football or something, and a guy drops a pass, and the color guy saying, you know, you can't. You know, he's trying to catch it with his shoulder pad.
Iowa football.
Is it Iowa game? Okay, yeah.
Yes.
He's like, you can't catch it with your pads. You got to use your hands. Your hands are soft. They caress. You know, they're gentle, and they kind of laugh. And the play
like
guy
a
just goes
6 second break.
He just goes, it's kind of gay. He just like he knows he's not supposed to say it. I picture him being like, I have to say it. I have to say it. My brothers are watching. Like, I have to acknowledge that what I think this is. And it's like, 2007 was like a different landscape, but it wasn't even funny. Like, it wasn't even funny then. You know what I mean? Like, it was just like, oh, okay.
Oh.
And it's just silent for like 10 seconds. Third down.
You know what is funny?
Not funny. It just wasn't funny. It's funny.
FanDuel is the best. It's where I go to make my sports bets. Oh, baseball season's in full swing, and there's no better place to get in on the action than FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. Because right now, new customers get a no-sweat first bet up to $1,000. $1,000 in bonus bets if your first bet doesn't win. Go to FanDuel.com/locked-on to join today. Don't miss your chance to snag a no-sweat first bet up to $1,000 when you join FanDuel. That's where I go to do all kinds of stuff. All kinds of stuff to bet for sports. FanDuel.com/locked-on. It's the official sports partner of Major League Baseball. Major League Baseball trademarks used with permission. FanDuel.com/lockdowncollege. So with all of this,
man.
Bob Huggins stuff, big hug. Sounds like reports have emerged that 8 players will be leaving the program come Monday.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
So this is not Pat Dennehy level where it's like, oh, no one wants to go to Baylor. But they might be just as bad as that next Baylor team.
Yeah, in terms of an on-court situation, yeah.
They can't field a starting 5 now. And the portal is bare.
It's dry. Yeah. Yeah, and the only reason these kids are allowed to go into the portal is because of the coaching change. They have that rule of the 30 days. But there's nothing to choose from, and even if there was, who is the coach? And obviously they're going to promote an assistant for the year, but what is his track record? Guys are coming to play for a Hall of Fame coach. And it's who knows if they have to do open tryouts the way Scott Drew had to. I don't know what the junior college route could look like if they could just start poaching guys from there. But even then, man, this is the Big 12. It wasn't a really smooth sailing ride last year to get into the tournament. It's not looking great for them.
No.
And it's not looking great for the football team either. So they are a baseball school.
They had the best offseason of any Big 12 team, too. They had the best basketball offseason of literally any Big 12 team. They killed the portal. And then Bob Huggins, it's like they also gave him a leash. Like,
and
Bob.
I think two of those guys are already two of the guys who are going to leave. Two guys they just got in the door.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I don't even know if they've gone to campus or moved in to Morgantown. At least one of those, a Syracuse kid, Jesse something. Yeah.
Do you think they're shocked? You think the player's like, oh, man, not Coach Huggins. Like, dude, Bob, we gave you the biggest leash possible. You keep messing up. And like, we're going to let you do it as long as you don't mess up.
The good news for West Virginia athletic department for when they go to hire a new coach, they obviously have all year to do it. And they can offer a lot of money because they don't have to even buy out Bob Huggins. They are going to fire him. Well, they let him resign, but they were going to fire him with cause. So no buyout there. That's nice because he messed up fireably twice in the same offseason. Yikes, man. We can't all have good Scott Drews, man.
Hear me out.
Scott Drew, who's a friend of Bob Huggins, by the way. And again, from what we know, Bob Huggins doesn't even seem like a bad guy, but two things you can't really do.
Pretty misled, ignorant, way
fair.
too loose. Like there are plenty of words you could describe Bob Huggins right now. He has gone to the NCAA tournament 26 times, has those 935 career wins. He's a Hall of
Bobby
Famer.
Petrino.
No.
Or Rick Pitino even.
But this has some Rick Pitino to it, this next question, who has made his way back. He did his time at Iona and now has made his way back into the Power 5. 6. Do you think if he wants to come back, we ever see Robert Huggins on the sidelines again?
I don't think so. And the only thing I'm looking here is at the age because they're the same. They're the same age. He's 70.
He's 70.
So I don't see a comeback at that point. Jim Calhoun did coach a couple years at like Eastern Connecticut or something. It wasn't even that. Some upstart program after leaving UConn. I don't see it. 70 years old. Start over again? I don't think so. Pitino did have the benefit of being 60. Getting back into it. And it took it was 10 years since he's left Louisville, right? About 10 years ago that he's gotten back into the Power 6 at St. John's. Yeah. I don't see it. I don't see him coming back.
Hear me out.
God, 70-year-olds, most of those shouldn't even be driving.
Hear me out.
Let alone tripling the legal limit. Yeah, I'm hearing you, brother.
No, that wasn't for you. That was just.
Yeah.
We would like to thank you all for being here today. We are proud to announce 72-year-old Bob Huggins as the next coach of the Liberty Flames. Everybody give it up for Bob Huggins. Everybody, Bob Huggins. The only chance.
That is the natural landing spot.
The only chance. Like, oh, you did a bad thing. We'll hire you. And
where's that place that hired Dave Bliss?
Oh, yeah. Like Oklahoma.
They'll bring in Bob Huggins, and he's like Mr. Rogers, man.
Dude, it's the funniest part of the Dave Bliss documentary. Funniest part. Terrible, but funny.
This is how we link it to Baylor. This is how we do Locked On Baylor.
100%. They cut the camera of the they don't actually cut it, but Bliss goes, "Are the cameras off?" This is in the documentary. They're interviewing Dave Bliss. Yes, Cam?
Can this be my favorite hot mic moment?
Yeah. Because Bliss goes, "Are the cameras off?" And the interviewer's like, it just kind of looks around at everybody, and then Bliss just starts and goes, "Yeah, Denny, he was a druggie." Ooh.
He like makes sure the guy knows too. He's like, he really was, He really was.
Yeah, he's like, oh yeah, he definitely was. And then he kind of goes on.
No reports of that, really, by the way.
He's like, we settled. He's like, yeah, I settled with his family, kind of insinuates that they just wanted money. You're like, oh no. And then one of the next scenes is the athletic director at Oklahoma Christian Southwestern being like, yeah, change guy. We love Coach Bliss. We're about second chances and mercy here. And they show videos of him at like FCA camps signing things.
Oh yeah. Big FCA guy. Yeah.
Within 3 days, the documentary being released, he was fired. He was fired, given the can, because of his hot mic situation. That's just
so funny too, is like, what kind of leash does that guy have to have if they hired him knowing what he had done at Baylor? Then they're like, shit. He tried to double down on it. We got to get rid of him now.
Yeah. Dave
Everyone
Bliss,
knows who we are now.
Will be Bob Huggins' next assistant basketball coach. He's still alive.
He is,
I think Bliss is still alive. He's got to be getting
He's
up
probably
there.
young. He's probably younger than Huggins. Not by much, but.
No, it's close.
Well,
it's
he's probably
close.
Yeah, they're probably right at the same age. He's probably about 50 when that happened. Let's see. That's a Bobby Knight disciple, by the way.
Yeah. Well, shocked.
He and
Dave
Krzyzewski were both assistants.
Dave Bliss 79.
Sorry. Yeah, he's much older. Sorry.
Yeah, because Shap has an interview with like Kelvin Sampson and Boeheim and Krzyzewski after that happens, and Krzyzewski says, "Yeah, if somebody's videotaping me in my locker room, he's definitely fired." And Shap was like, "Whoa, wait a second, this guy."
I'll defend my guy Krzyzewski here. Boeheim kind of agrees with him in the interview.
Oh, they do, and Kelvin Sampson's
Boeheim
like,
too.
They all
That's the
three
only defense I have for it.
They all three agree that if an assistant records him in a locker room, the assistant's immediately fired. Again, Shap's like, "Come on, guys,
I'll give you a chance. Give you a chance to walk that back."
Murdered. So his assistant's trying to get him fired, and you're not cool with that. Krzyzewski doubles down. He's like, "Oh yeah, no."
Framing a 19-year-old, 20-year-old murdered basketball player on your team to make you guys look better. Are you sure you don't want
to keep his job? Creates this extravagant story, and then Krzyzewski's like, "I'm cool. I'm good. We're chilling." I know the guy.
He donated to the Eve Carson thing.
Yeah. So now moving forward for Baylor, the rest of the Big 12 is from a competitive standpoint, you now have a win. Maybe two on your schedule. So is this a good conference? You lost a Hall of Fame head coach. That part's not good. You also lost a guy with sad, like kind of, it is a little weird to say, but it's true. Shoddy character. That's probably a good thing for your conference. And then you got an automatic win on your schedule. So is this good for Baylor? Is this good for the Big 12? Depends on what category you're looking in.
I don't think it does much to the Big 12, to be honest with you. I don't think they were contenders anyway, and you're adding a top 5 team anyway in Houston. So, it's not terrific, but to take a tournament team out of, the best basketball conference in America, and that thing you boast about is having all those tournament basketball teams, never an easy night, all that kind of thing. You don't have that. You have one less team now. Yeah, it kind of stinks. In the long run, I don't think it does much. But, yeah, that stinks. It reminds me of, you seen the movie Glory Road?
Yes, I have.
They make Kentucky and Adolph Rupp out to be like just the ultimate Disney villains. And Harry Flournoy gets hurt in the national championship game, and the assistant goes, "That's one less thing to worry about," all sly-like. And that's kind of my reaction to Bob Huggins out at West Virginia. Well, yeah. One less thing to worry about. I don't think they were going to really be in Baylor's way anyway. But, yeah, it's one less thing, man. Baylor's going to be good at basketball this year. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah, Jalen Bridges is coming back.
Yeah, I don't think they pick up any of those West Virginia transfers, though. I think we're rolling with what we got right now.
Yeah, I think we're good. We're chilling.
Good. Trey Johnson. That's the next thing. Need to work on him.
We have arguably too many players on roster right now.
Arguably. Yeah.
12 guys that could play. Good problem to have. Still a problem.
And we'll see, man. This is the depth I thought they were going to have this past year. And they kind of didn't. They did, but you just didn't get what you might have thought offensively from Love, Loner, Dale Bonner most of the year.
Yeah.
Thought he was going to take a step up, and he eventually did, but it took a while. So
dropping an F in the chat for Caleb Loner.
Yeah. R.I.P. But yeah, they got a ton of depth, man. This is on paper a conference championship type of team.
Yeah.
Which is saying a lot. That's saying Final Four team for every other conference.
Yeah. Oh, I'm
It's June, man. We're really grasping at straws.
I'm Drake Toll from Sports Illustrated. I cover the NFL for Sports Illustrated now.
Woo!
So Google
what team?
Google Tony Pollard, and you'll see my name. It's like 10 teams.
Woo!
Thanks for making Locked On Baylor your first listen every 3 days.
October 1st, man. Get me in the building.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday. This has been and always will be. Thanks for making it your first listen again. That was Cameron Stewart from our daily, our inside some of the Bears. Locked on Baylor.